Greetings and great rise and beautiful beings. This is Revere Revere Skyes Essence. Now, I just tried to make a video, and this dry, dusty feeling hit the back of my throat, and I just coughed and coughed and coughed for no reason. Like, I've talked on the phone all yesterday and didn't cough. But for some reason, I don't know what's going on with that. It's like the more truth you bring out, the more you reveal, the more you get hit with something out the blue. Okay? So, let me get back to it. I was in California before I got to Florida. And the reason why I left California, the reason why I left California was because I was like, Mom, I keep having these dreams that say Sodom and Gomorrah. I thought Sodom and Gomorrah was like a clothing company, um, some type of handbag. Come to find out, Sodom and Gomorrah is talking about brimstone and fire and how the people in the area was sinning. And all I could do was think about all these women that had dogs as lovers. You know what I mean? You grown, you should know better. And I knew the dogs had took over the area. When you see dogs in restaurants, when you see dogs in grocery stores, dog backwards is God. So you're going to start seeing a lot of sodomy. You're going to see a lot of people with their companions. If all these people got PTSD and anxiety and they need a dog companion and they don't have a human companion, humans are not humans are not readily available to them, the world is gonna get twisted. So, me and my mother, I told her about the Sodom and Gomorrah and that I think LA and California had got damned. And for me to wake up from my dreams hearing them words over and over and over, we set out for me to be in another tropical environment. Well, a more tropical environment, sandy beaches, but more of a laid back, melanated lifestyle. So the East Coast was it. And she said, how about that old country town, Jacksonville? She said, they got 1,000,000 square miles. Everything big in Jacksonville. She was like, they got a lot of land. They got a lot of people. Jacksonville got about 1,000,000 people. So we set out to find me a property where I could do commercial business. And I've been sitting on this property for so long. And it takes a lot, okay, to once you pay a property off, now you put yourself in a position where, okay, I got to make sure my credit A1, so if I need to get anything done, I could get it done. But I've been sitting on this property for so long, but that's another story for another chapter. That's another story for another chapter. Now, what am I explaining? My spirit moves me when it needs to move me. My spirit has me observe and explain stuff. That's why I have a video where I explain Sodom and Gomorrah in California. It's just hidden. It's hidden. That chapter of my life is hidden. It doesn't mean that I can't open it back up. I told you the only place I'm going to open these videos back up is on Patreon, because the support needs to be supported. Okay? You need to see the timeline. You need to see what I revealed and when I revealed it. So when I left California and came to Florida, I would say They was already having fires while I was out there. But when you're living in California, they don't show you videos or news, people not talking about the fire while they're out there. They just living. You'll see the red skies and everything. But when you leave California, the news is bombarded with California and fires. They don't show the news the same way they show, just like Florida. They say Florida not the place to go to. You'll get sick, all this and that. Stay out of Florida. They're trying to slow you down from coming here. They don't want a population boom, because with a population boom, prices go up, and then the normal people who was at a set pace can't afford to live here anymore. It's not about being sick. Now, let's talk about it a second. So, when I got here, California took off in a blaze. Now tell me why before I left California I talked about Sodom and Gomorrah. California burnt up so much in so many places, but not LA. Not where I was having the dreams about Sodom and Gomorrah. It hit in some of the most wintry spots. It hit North California more than anything, and East California, and above Santa Monica. Like it didn't hit LA where the cesspool was. Okay. So now, in Florida, everything's fine. But I noticed something was weird. I noticed something was strange, that in Jacksonville that we was having colder winters just like Georgia. Like, I'm from Georgia, and it gets cold in Georgia in the wintertime. You gotta wear your coats and stuff. Especially if it rain and get damp. Oh, it's real cold. Now, I realized it was cold, and I'm like, dang, I got to have, because, I was in my RV. I didn't have the power on yet at the building. It was so much going on, and I had to stay warm. So, I went south. When you're an RVer or you in your van, I went south. I went to Miami. I went to Daytona. I went to like West Palm Beach area. I went to Key West because I was trying to avoid the cold. It was a different type of cold. I was so relieved from getting out of California toxic. California got 5G, cell phone towers. They got everything. You're living in a concrete jungle. So you can't touch the ground. You know what I mean? And then I wanted to move to Oakland or San Francisco, but it was too wet and it was too cold, and I love that sunshine in LA. So it was like damned if you do, damned if you don't out there. So when I got here and I realized it was too cold, I went down to Key West to set up shop. But I realized that they were on a mission. The people down there, like the Cubans, the Dominicans, the Haitians, or whatever, they was on a mission to snatch up single traveling females. So I realized that I was in a danger zone. I had got my vendor insurance. I had got my business license and everything, but somebody kept trying to break in my van while I was asleep, so I had to leave the Key West. You down there when you at the Key West, you at the bottom. Mile zero. You're down there by the Yucatan. You can see Cuba. You can see the lights of Cuba. It's just, if you're traveling alone, it can be quite dangerous. And the well-off white people that live down there, they they're just there to spend their money. They're not there to protect anybody. They're not there to make sure people are safe, or they just see you in the streets. They see you in the streets. They're just there to spend their money and laugh and have fun. They're not there to actually make sure no sex ring organizations are not happening. But yeah, when I seen that somebody, because I used to park at a 24-hour store, and they would still try to break in my vehicle at a 24-hour store with me parked right in front of the entrance to the door. So that was dangerous. But I just had to get all this out, these phases out. Okay, so now I've been in Florida 4 years, and let's see, the pandemic started 2019. I would say it started November 2019, my birthday. Okay. That's when I had came down with something at my birthday party at the beach. Then after that, I masturbated in 2020, March 2020, and that was the worst thing I could have ever did, because then I realized what was going on. When you masturbate during, like, if you're actually a person that can climax and disperse your energy out, and your body has to rebuild itself. You know how they tell sports people don't have sex before the game? They're telling the man don't have sex before the game. I can ejaculate just like a man. I put out the same energy. I lose all my energy, and I have to regroup. I have to rebuild my stamina and protection. Okay? So 2020, March 2020 or February 2020, between that time, I masturbated. And then when I masturbated, I got flu-like symptoms. A few weeks later, I was down for a week. I had a dry cough. And then they came out with the scamdemic virus. A guy on Instagram, I wish I would have saved the video, but I wasn't really into saving videos then, said, have y'all noticed when you have sex, you get flu-like symptoms afterwards? You start to cough, you start to get chills. Right now, we cannot afford to disperse our life force energy, our sacred life force energy like that. Y'all don't know that y'all are putting wear and tear on your body when you masturbate and when you have sex. You don't never see Skye with no boyfriend. You don't see Skye with no girlfriend. Because let me tell you something. When you are busting them nuts, when you are masturbating, and you actually release, you actually convulse, and you let that shit out, a lot of women don't know how to do it. But every man can do it because he ejaculate. But the women that can do it, she probably done got some flu-like symptoms in the wintertime after she did it. So, back to it. What does this topic boil down to? The side effects and the symptoms of who and what this pandemic is attacking or targeting. Let's talk about it a second. You have to be your own guru sometimes, and you have to just let it play in your head. Who and what is this thing targeting? It's targeting the people that are already sick, the people that are weak, that have bad hearts, bad circulation, infectious and viral type diseases, meaning your body is just not pristine. What is going on? What can attack you? What can attack you in the winter that can't attack you in the summer? You know, these banks and these grocery stores and these hospitals got their temperatures so cold, telling people they don't want disease and germs and bacteria growing. But this pandemic thrives in cold weather. Say it again, Revere Sky. You mean to tell me that y'all are going to keep cooling things down? It's already cold outside. It's already 45 and 60 outside. And you're going to have your store running at the max, 58.60. You're going to have your bank running at 58.60, saying you're trying to keep people's temperatures down. Why would a person try to keep your temperature down? Because they're trying to suppress your kundalini energy from burning off these nanoparticles that's coming to you. They don't want you burning off the radiation that they're setting out. Let me explain something to you. If you have a bad heart, bad circulation, bad levels of oxygen, just can't get right. That's right, can't get right. Bad circulation, infectious body, infectious diseases, anything. Blood just messed up, oxygen levels just messed up, disease prone. What can aggravate you and stress you out to the point where you're damn near need to be on life support? What can do it? Radiation. They are using nuclear radiation. When they generate that HAARP and CERN and they put that Chem dome up, they are radiating people with a chill to the bone radiation. These artificial winters are radiation storms. And only the strongest can survive. Only the strongest can survive. And then the ones that get hit can recuperate. But then if they do it again and again and again, how many times can you recuperate? This is why it's time that people get heat and Faraday cage themselves. It's very important that people get as much heat as possible. I was just watching a video by this brother that said the thing about Africa and why they were a booming area is because they didn't have snow. They didn't have cold. Year round, they was able to observe and think. They had food, they had water, they had warmth, heat. Melanated people need heat. It's going against our radioactive. The radiation we get from the sun is different from the man-made radiation that they're doing these nuclear winters with. It's total opposites. We need the radiation from the sun. That's what our forefathers, whoever created the hologram in the firmament, that's organic radiation. Whoever created winter, that's inorganic radiation. Okay? So they are lighting us up with inorganic radiation. And why is it taking a toll on Florida the hardest? Because they're not used to inorganic radiation. That'd be like tomorrow you hit Jamaica with inorganic radiation and you drop the temperature down to 40 or 45 degrees on that island. they're going to get all the symptoms that you know about today for this pandemic. They're going to swear like hell somebody came and attacked them with a bioweapon. But these are bioweapons. These radiation weapons, these cell phone towers, they are bioweapons. They're here to control you psychologically, to put fear in you. I can't explain it no better than this. We are being attacked by radiation through the winter when the sun is at its weakest. And the sun ain't really at its weakest. If they leave the planet alone, we would have warm winters. But they're doing it. I took a picture of the sign of a Canadian corridor on I-40. It says Canadian Observatory for Soil and Water. I-40 is about 1,500 miles from the Canadian border. But they're testing Canadian soil and Canadian water on I-40. Let me tell you something. Canada is HARP Central. Canada is CERN Central. Canada, the head, that's owned by Britain, is the ones who regulate how we think in the United States. Okay? They gonna hit us with the bamboozle because they don't care who they take out as long as they're surviving. They need the cold. They need the winter. They need the lack of sun. But this is an inorganic radiation that they're hitting us with to keep this cold climate, to suppress the natural environment and the cycles of this planet. So when you wondering why people are going through what they're going, I'm not talking about the people who have been jabbed, that they sent that pulse out to their heart because they got those this is what they're doing. You know how they have those cheap movies? This is what they're doing to people to jab. They got these cheap movies, these low budget movies that used to come out. They used to be so cheap, I didn't like them. But they had this one where you can get your heart fixed. So, and you would send the money on this chip, and upload it to this machine or whatever. But somehow bodies was dropping dead. And this lady was like, oh my God, I'm trying to pay you. I don't want to die. Get the money. But they was being investigated. Their little lab was being investigated. So the girl dropped dead. And all the other people who got their heart replaced with this machine, they went in these vans beside them and pretended like they was going to get the money. And they terminated them. When they terminated them, they took their body to the morgue and evaporated it, burnt it up. They didn't do it like crush the bones and burn the body in the ashes. No. They got rid of the whole body, like it just disappeared with this evaporation thing. So I'm looking at this jab and I'm like, these people taking a jab. And then all of a sudden, they just croak out on everybody on public TV. And they're promoting it and they're promoting it. But if you notice, the people that take the jab, they don't see this on TV. The only people that see this on TV is the people that don't take the jab. Now, ain't that a coincidence? Have you been battling with people who take the jab and battling with people who don't take the jab? The people who take the jab, their psyche only can see the worst for the people who don't take the jab. And the people who don't take the jab, they only can see the worst for the people who do take the jab. Isn't that interesting? Social media, mainstream news. You're sitting up here listening, saying that all these people had these side effects and reactions and all these problems. But then the person who took the jab never see or hear any of this. They never hear or see anything about side effects on the news. Why is that? Because they have your brain programmed and wired to disassociate with certain stuff after you become a part of the new organization, the new ritual. So the same way these people had these bad hearts and they they got investigated and they shut down the people's shop that was giving them these new hearts. These people that was giving them the new hearts, they just took over. They just shut them down. They didn't want their money no more or nothing. So what these people are doing on the news today, this is what they're doing. They're letting you know that we have full control of these people. They can drop dead when we want them to drop dead. They gave us access to their bodies. So you could take it or leave it. You ain't got to believe me. You have given them access to you. You do not believe in source or the creator no more. You would rather trust your oppressor before you trust your God-given rights, your God-given life force energy. When they promote people dropping dead after taking the jab, they are letting you know that they have full access and control of your body. It's the butterfly effect. You know them famous people out there that pause. They've been doing this forever. This technology has been out here forever. They make them fall. They did it with Wendy Williams. They did it with what's her name? Cardi B. They did it with that news anchor guy up there in New York. The technology already been here, but they needed a reason to put it in you for free. They needed a reason. See, they paid them. Not really. They under mind control. But they getting like money in the bank, so they don't pay attention to the true facts. They already had the technology. They just needed a way to put it inside of you. Yes, indeed. Yes, and motherfucking indeed. And all the people that don't take the jab, that believe in herd immunity, self-immunity, veganism, herbalism, naturopathic healing, you're under attack too. Because they got to live by example. You're going to be their main example. We are going to be their main example of why you should get the jab. So they're going to be attacking us. They got their people out there ready to start making examples out of us because we're not going along with the program. So this winterization, this radiation that they call winter, if your immune system is not strong enough for it, if you're clogged up with pus, inflammation, bad heart, bad liver, bad kidneys, bad endocrine system, bad lymphatic system, let me tell you something. You're going to get hit hard. And everybody ain't going to be able to recuperate. Everybody is not going to be able to recuperate. So it's just something to think about. It's really something to think about. And Florida, again, the reason why they're hitting Florida so bad because we have Nubian melanated indigenous people down here that never left, that have already been in this tropical region forever. And they don't want you to enjoy that lifestyle. They don't want you to come down here and see how strong black people are in the South. They don't want you to see that. So they're gonna hit them with that winter radiation, that not fake radiation, it's real radiation. But they're gonna hit them with that fake winter. Okay? It just amazed me how you got to have so much heat and you got to be wearing all these clothes for this fake winter. It's a fake winter, fake radiation, nanoparticles, chemtrails, chemdomes, suffocating you from actually receiving the sun and light codes that keep you healing and keep you holy. When you can't receive the light codes that you're supposed to receive, and you can't receive the Kundalini energy from the core of the frequency of the planet, they are killing your healing. They're killing your holy. So you got to get on it. I'm telling you. And the only way to receive these light codes now is to eat your chlorophyll. The plants don't lie. The plants do not lie. The more wilder the crop, the better. Kale, arugula, collard greens, turnips, mustards. You need to be eating your greens. Wood sorrel, sheep sorrel. That's the only thing right now that can give you life and deflect that radiation. Living greens. Mulberry leaf, mulberry leaf, mulberry leaf. There we have it. Unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free.